Life, we are always celebrating the brilliant achievements of women achievers from all walks of life. And today we are very happy and deeply honored to have with us Chef Garima Arora, the first Indian woman chef to hold a Michelin star. Garima, how does it feel being here in India after a long spell?
Well, always excited to be back home and very, very happy to be here on the PEAKLIFE platform as well.
Wonderful. So, how has the journey been for you? Tracing Michelin stars, running a stupendously successful restaurant in Bangkok, making multiple trips during your recent shoot for the Indian MasterChef series, having a baby.
Tiring is one word. It is tiring, it's overwhelming, but when you love what you do, it's all fun. It's all worth it. So I have no complaints there.
So, what is your state of mind right now?
I would love a nap. A lot of coffee. None of it seems to be working. But yeah, life has been busy. Life has been kind. The restaurant's doing really well. Baby is now 9 months old. So between the two and juggling and shuffling between the two, yeah, I'm always... it seems like I'm chasing deadlines and chasing play dates, but I think overall it's all under control.
So you've said in one of your interviews that a woman can't have it all. You need to remove yourself physically from one scenario to be physically present in another, obviously. So can you comment on the term Superwoman?
Yeah, it's a myth. Superwoman is a sleep-deprived, hormonally charged, and not brushed hair in so many days. No, I mean it's silly to expect women to do all of this, and this is something I've learned now being on the other side. More than anything, I think it's unfair. It's unfair to ask a new mother to leave her child behind and go to work. But okay, that's a reality. That's a choice a lot of us have to make. But having said that, when you're at work, part of you is always thinking about your child, and when you're with your child, you're always thinking about deadlines you haven't made, or things that you need to get done at work. But then that seems to be the world we're in.
You're a very strong and an independent woman. I want to know, are there any figures in your family tree, in your friend circle, strong independent women who have possibly been sources of inspiration for you?
I think I was just raised by a very strong-headed woman. She refuses to believe it. She hates my own strong-headedness. But I always say, who do you think I've taken it from? And it's my mom. Growing up, she always kind of taught. She had this penchant dialogue. "Thair ja, main usko batati hu." A very Punjabi way to say that. So that attitude is kind of stuck with me as well. So yeah, I mean, she has nobody to blame but herself for this.
Okay, and blame the brilliant gene pool, I'd say, because you're absolutely fantastic.
Then she takes the credit as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So everybody wants to be in your shoes, Garima. What are the 3 qualities that you would probably identify as the most important essentials for a good chef?
I think one is to keep your head down and work hard. This is what I tell everybody. Once you start chasing accolades and start chasing success, whatever it may mean to you, that's when it's the most elusive. I always believe in the process. You keep your head down, you work hard, everything else will follow. You've got to love what you do. That's, for me, the utmost and most important thing. Other than that, discipline is key. Motivation is fleeting, but the discipline always sticks. That's incredibly important as well.
But everybody faces challenges, and yours have been incredibly large for sure, because you've been hopping countries and straddling hectic shoot schedules and so on. So what has been the biggest challenge for you so far? What is currently the biggest challenge that you're facing?
I think it's finding home. You know what I mean?
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, of course, India is home. And then I'm in Bangkok. It's also home in so many ways, considering I have my son there, my business there. But I always kind of feel torn between the two. And yeah, that's something I always feel, that coming home, coming back to India is always is something I think about, feel.
So you've taken a lot of India to Thailand.
Yeah.
And can we expect Garima to get a lot of Garima to India now? In what
Hopefully.
ways and how?
Hopefully someday, one day. But yeah, who knows when.
So you're open to collaborations and maybe toying somewhere in the near future
Yeah, I mean,
with the.
never say no to anything. I'm always open to to life and new experiences. But yeah, India is always it's always in my heart. So hopefully I get to come back home soon.
What has been the biggest turning point for you, Garima? If you were to look over the past 5 years, we've experienced the pandemic, a lot of shifts and shakes in the international foodscape.
I think it was the pandemic which has been the biggest turning point in my career, my personal life as well. I mean, of course, I broke away from my previous business partners during the pandemic and then set up Guy all over again by myself, single-handedly. That taught me a lot. It was a crash course in construction and business at the same time. Also, if the pandemic hadn't happened, probably I wouldn't have jumped into motherhood so eagerly. This was 2 years that I hadn't seen my husband and my parents because I was in Bangkok and in India. And then I think the importance of family became evident during those 2 years. Yeah, and I think it also changed me, the way I look at things around me, control I have on my own life. So many things have changed after that.
So, what is the biggest difference between Garima Arora 2018 and Garima Arora 2024?
More grey hairs. that's the biggest one, I think. But hopefully a little bit wiser than I was 5 years ago as well.
A good chef needs to be a good chartered accountant as well. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, any business, anybody who's running a business has to have a clear head about their business, and knowing your numbers are important.
So what is your strongest USP? What do you count as your biggest strength as an individual?
This is what my colleague say, and my core team that has been with me since day one, and they always say that I don't process things like normal people do. I don't let things that would phase normal people phase me, and that's just how I am. So I don't know what it is and how I've gotten this, but yeah, I don't. I just do what I want to do. I guess that's my that's what I like about myself, I guess. Don't let anything get to me.
So whether you like it or not, Garima, you're the biggest mascot and the biggest source of inspiration for all women in the country for sure. I mean, you've proved that you've put India on the culinary map, sure shot and brilliantly so. So if you were to give a piece of advice to all women chefs out there, those who aspire to be in your shoes, what would be that one pearl of wisdom that you would share with them?
I think first, for all, stop thinking of yourself in terms of gender. In profession, does not matter whether you're man or woman. Really, you just need strong, hardworking people. That's all. As an employer, I can say that I don't care whether my head chef is male, female, Martian. I don't care. You just need strong, good people to work with. So if being or identifying as a victim, and then because you're a woman, if that gets stuck in a women's head, I think that'll pull you down always. So you're not a victim, first of all. Second, I think the message is not to them but the people around these girls and young girls. It's very important to have a strong ecosystem, a strong family around you, strong friends, strong husbands, strong parents, in-laws who understand that they need to be the support system, because this is a physically demanding job. You can't work from home. We were just talking about that. It's not you can peel potatoes at home and send them to work. Yeah. You have to be physically away from your family to go do this job, which makes it more trickier than your, say, 9-to-5 job. So I think having a support system in a good in a family is very important. So I think that's who needs to change, and those are the people who need to kind of step up now.
So what composes your support system?
My husband, of course, he's a gem. My parents, mom and dad, both. They're great. My brother is also in Bangkok. He works with his girlfriend, but having him around is great. My team, my people who have been, we've worked together for 7 years now since Ka opened. They're family now. Can't think about Ka without them.
Have you ever encountered any form of bias anywhere across the world where you have worked?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. Honestly, I don't think too much about it. obviously it didn't affect me, and I moved on from it. So, see, biases will always be there, whether it's race or gender or ethnicity. Biases always remain. I bet I am biased as well. But it's not your problem to solve. You kind of have to just do your work and move on.
Can you name some chefs who inspire you?
René Redzepi. Working at Noma was I think one of the most pivoting times of my life, and he's someone I still go to advice for, still reach out to every now and then. Yeah, I think he's probably within the industry the strongest role to play in my life.
What are the trends that you foresee in the foodscape in India over the next coming years?
Trends.
Yes.
So this word trends is tricky, but I really think that we are moving away from the I don't even know what cuisine that is, Mughlai cuisine or whatever that is that we export in the name of Indian cuisine. This newfound love for regional cuisine is so exciting to see, and I really want to see where this love affair goes.
So are you planning to travel through different
Yes,
parts of India?
absolutely. That's our next R&D trip is hopefully in April or May. Either it's going to be in Northeast or down South, we're just trying to figure it out. But this coming 1 year, we want to do a lot of R&D trips, eat around, meet new people, experience culture, firsthand, and we'll see where we get at.
You do realize that chefs have assumed a very glamorous visage over the past few years, and wonderfully so, because I think people who were behind the wonderful plates that we eat are finally getting the due recognition. How does this glamour aspect of your work for you?
Why does this glamour elude me? Because I am every day in my kitchen plunging clogged drains and peeling potatoes and whatnot. No, it's glamorous on the outside. It's
excellent. I wanted you to demystify that for our readers and viewers, because honestly, after seeing the edited versions of MasterChef, everybody wants to become a chef.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes that there are hours and hours of washing dishes and peeling onions and potatoes behind the scenes.
And no matter how successful you become as a chef, those are things you always have to do. It will always remain a physically demanding job. There is nothing glamorous about this job, let me tell you that. I have all these burns and cuts and bruises to prove that. But no, it's a very demanding profession. From the outside, of course, it seems great because you just see us when we are all cleaned up and out there meeting people, but no, it's absolutely not. This is what I tell people, whoever, so many kids who want to be chefs, they come in doing internships with us, they expect that they, first day they're going to finish service, get a high five from chef, go drink beers with the chef, and it's going to be great. I wish life was so easy. It's not.
What's your food philosophy, Garima?
My food philosophy, you mean at the restaurant at Gar?
Yes.
So it's applying Indian techniques to ingredients found in Thailand, because we are in Thailand. But my idea is, I think when you apply our techniques, our culinary history to ingredients in any geographical area, what you get is Indian cuisine, in the newest way possible. It's incredible what is possible with techniques from our cuisine. Yeah.
So is there any technique that you've revived recently? Any obscure vegetable or fruit that you've discovered, cooked with?
I mean, we were thinking our main course right now, I think, at Ga is, so we've always had a vegetarian main course. And that is, I think we must be one of the very few fine dining or Michelin restaurants in the world who do that. And the reason is to showcase what's possible with vegetarian cooking using our techniques. And we do a durian. We cook it in the tandoor and we serve it with like condiments and breads and stuff. And the idea is, again, like I said, what's possible with Indian techniques. And, people can be a very polarizing fruit. If you've ever had a durian, have you had a durian before?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
it can be either way.
Yeah.
So we always encourage people to try, and then most of the days we get away with it and people really enjoy it and love it. So I think that's it, because you need to challenge people a little bit with your food as well.
Absolutely.
You need people to not challenge. I think the right word is think. You need people to think.
Thought triggers.
I mean, a tasting menu, by the end of it, can be very comfortable and almost it can be predictable.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you're eating the main, you expect a piece of meat with some whatever, and you know, you want to call it a night, but that's the time we hit it with a durian that's cooked in the tandoor. It wakes you up a little bit, makes you think why and how, and okay, yeah, that's the idea.
Sounds amazing. So there's a decided shift towards vegetarianism worldwide. And so above what quantum of the menu at Ka um, brings in like a larger variety in terms of vegetarian options?
I mean, we do a whole menu that is vegetarian. That's
Right.
always possible for guests who prefer vegetarian. We cater to all sorts of weird allergies these days, but like I said, with Indian cooking, it's so easy to draw from vegetables. I think they're more versatile.
Yes.
There's only so much you can do with a piece of meat, but what you can do with a kaddu is up to your imagination.
Yes, absolutely.
I enjoy cooking with vegetables much more, I feel.
So what's the most beautiful part about being Garima Arora? Like what's the best part about your work? The most beautiful part about being a chef?
The most beautiful part about being a chef, I think it's I get to do what I love every day. So I go to work. I love being there. There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. I think that's a win in life.
Absolutely. So you're looking at bringing in the regional cuisines in some forms or the other
Absolutely.
in your works over the
Absolutely.
course of the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
And can you comment on the changing complexion of the Indian food consumer? How has the profile of the Indian consumer changed in terms of your target audience?
Right. Yeah, I think since we got our first start to today, of course we have a lot of guests coming from India as well, and every time as years go on, they're much more well traveled. They know what they want. They are actually, I think, better informed than so many of other guests, and it makes sense in our food because we are drawing from traditions which they know, and they're able to make these connections and catch on the nuances and understand the intricacies. So yeah, Indian diner is as well traveled as any other, I feel, today.
And how important is the Indian diner for you in the larger scheme of things?
I mean, who else am I cooking for? If I can't inspire and if I can't get a thumbs up from my own people, I should definitely stop cooking.
That's wonderful. So what is it that you have learned in life, Garima? What has been your biggest learning? क्या सीखा है आपने जिंदगी में?
कि कभी सीखना बंद ही नहीं होता. There's always something new to learn. There's always something new to pick up from people, whether it's as a chef, whether it is as a human, as a person. There's always something to take back from every interaction.
Okay, there's one more question I'm dying to ask you on camera, that how is it that you balance everything out or seemingly balance everything out now that you have a baby?
I will give you actually a very practical answer. I'll tell you what I actually do. I make sure that I work out 4 times a week. It helps me gain more energy, clarity, and focus. And I eat only 2 meals a day. So I feel that when I eat well, I eat clean, I have more energy to deal with things. I'm in better health. I realize that if I'm not healthy, if I'm not well, there's nobody to take care of my baby, and there's nobody to take care of my restaurant. So I need to take care of myself first. So I make sure I work out, I make sure I eat clean, eat well, and yeah, I think it's understanding your own body. Everybody is different. I took a year again during the lockdown to kind of understand what works for me. A lot of trial and error there, and I know what diet works for me. What gives me the most energy, and that's what I eat. That's
Wonderful.
how I live.
So these are pearls of wisdom coming from Chef Garima.
Discipline in every life, every aspect of life is important.
Yes, you've nailed it on that front.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I do have my weak moments. I do give in every now and then, but yeah.
So self-love and being human.
That's it.
That's wonderful.
A balance there.
Great. Thank you so much for taking time out to chat with us today. And I'm sure all our
Pleasure.
viewers and readers have had brilliant, delicious takeaways from this conversation with you. Thank you, Garima.
Thank you so much.